our new,
Hi everybody, we're going to get kicked off right on time here, but we'll lead in just with an audio test. Are the folks online able to hear me okay? I have a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. And if we have audio, we can get going. So welcome to the 2024 Pickleball Alberta AGM. I'm Pickleball Alberta's president, Jill Groves, and I will be chairing this annual meeting of the members of Pickleball Alberta. Thank you all for joining today. A quick note that we will be recording and posting today's meeting. Allison, I think that is you. If you wouldn't mind taking care of that, please. So that's really just a good reference for accurate meeting minutes, and hopefully it will serve as a good resource for those who are unable to attend today. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we live, work, play pickleball, meet and make decisions upon the many treaty lands within Alberta. Where I serve today, I'm on the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 6 region, which includes the tribes of Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, the Blackfoot Confederacy, and the Region 3 Métis Nation of Alberta. I acknowledge this relationship to the land and the people, and are committed to move forward in partnership with Indigenous nations in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Also, just a quick note that the meeting will be posted to our Pickleball Alberta TV YouTube channel. So all our stars. For those joining virtually, please keep yourself on mute during the meeting unless you have been recognized by the chair and are speaking, or of course if you have any objection to the rules of order. This is just really to prevent any background noise and feedback. Before we begin our roll call to officially call the meeting to order, I'm just going to take care of a quick few things. So also to manage our communication, I will kindly ask that any voting delegate or member attending in person wishing to speak, just give me the little wave so that I'm aware. Of course, again, anyone is able to interrupt with any objection to the rules of order. I would also ask, we won't go through a full round of introductions, there's just too many people to do that, but when you are speaking, please introduce yourself by name. And if you have any club affiliation, that would be helpful just to set a little bit of the background and for the benefit of the group. For those of you online, of course, we do have the raise hand function, or using the chat box to type a comment or question. We have Charity here that's going to be keeping an eye on that. And of course, you can use your unmute button to interrupt verbally with any objections. So into the roll call, I will do a roll call of the voting delegates who have registered first. I will then confirm the board member attendance, and finally we'll record the names of any of our non-voting members and guests. So I will call by zone. First, if you could just indicate with a present, we have Richard Boris from the Coaldale Pickleball Club. Richard, are you online?
No, I don't see a Richard.
Okay. We have Wanda Lazar from the Medicine Hat Pickleball Club.
She's here.
Here.
That's okay. Craig Rumer from the Lethbridge Pickleball Club.
He's waving.
Thank you, Craig. And please forgive the pronunciations. I think there's a couple coming up here that look a little more challenging. Gordon Cade from the Airdrie Pickleball Club. Gordon, are you online?
He's online. He waved.
Thank you. Mary Wilson from the Olds Pickleball Club.
I'm here.
Thank you, Mary. Moving into Zone 3, Kat Hackman from the Calgary Pickleball Club.
Present.
Thank you, Kat. Rick Fowler from the Northern Lights Pickleball Club. Rick, are you here? You're on mute. If you are. Najib Damani from the Richmond Green Pickleball and Social Club.
Present.
Thank you. Dean Edwards from Camrose.
Present.
Thank you, Dean. Susan McDonald from the Lacombe Pickleball Club. Susan, are you here? Kay Thule from the Red Deer Pickleball Club.
I'm here.
Thanks, Kay. Eileen McLean from the St. Albert Pickleball Club.
Present.
Thank you, Eileen. Barb Mullen from the Strathcona County Pickleball Association.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barb. Carol Buzzer from Yellowhead West Pickleball Club.
We substituted her today, she couldn't come. So Grant is here from Fort Saskatchewan, I can send it to Murray.
Okay. Grant, and the last name for Grant?
Inman, I-N-M-A-N. And I'm here.
Thank you. Okay, now into Zone 6 from the Edmonton Pickleball Club, we have Randy Dodds.
Present and here.
Thank you, Randy. Andrew Happer.
Present.
Thank you. Alan Willis.
Present.
Strong voting block.
Zone 7, the Cold Lake Pickleball Club, Lara Bates. Lara, are you here? Laura Petrillo.
Yeah, present.
Was that
Here.
Petrillo? Yes? Okay,
Yeah.
and Cole White.
Yep, I'm here.
Thank you, Cole. From the Mighty Peace Pickleball Club in Zone 8, Chris Kennedy. Okay, I'm just gonna do a second check. I heard some people knock on the door to be admitted to the meeting. So Richard Boris from the Coaldale Pickleball Club, are you here? Okay, Rick Fowler from Northern Lights. Susan McDonald from Lacombe. And Lara Bates from Cold Lake.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Lara. And Chris Kennedy, the last one from Zone 8, Mighty Peace.
I have a chat that says Najib is from the Calgary Pickleball Club. You marked him as present, but we have him as the wrong
Okay.
club. And Rick Fowler will join shortly. And Mary Teed is here from St. Albert, but she said her name was not called. Was she a voting delegate?
We have 3 already from Zone 5 that were identified in advance. So we will record her as a guest. Can I get that name again, please?
Mary Teed, T-E-E-D.
And that's St. Albert.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other voting delegates that we did not call? One more time, are there any other voting delegates that have not been identified for roll call? Thank you. We'll move on to members of the board next. Charity Christensen.
I'm here.
Murray Young.
Present.
Allison Ramsley.
Here.
Brenda Fresser.
Here.
Dazer, sorry. Dean Croach.
Yep, I'm here.
Ken Densian.
Here.
Andrew Gorman.
Here.
Thanks, Andrew. Ilsa Wong.
Present.
And Garen Jones.
Here.
Okay, we have some other guests with us. So we have Kirk Jensen. We have Della Curry. Are there any other non-voting guests with us today?
John.
My name is John Hoffman, and I'll go with St. Albert Club.
Thanks for being here,
League champion.
John. Are there any?
Stick phaser, Redger.
Thank
Pop up.
you. And then we have our parliamentarian here as well, who I'll introduce in a moment. Have I missed anyone else?
Hi, it's Andrea Larger from Sylvan Lake.
Sylvan Lake, which is zone
4.
4. Okay, so we do have room for an eligible voter there. Should we do that? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 voting delegates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6,
26.
26 total. Would you recommend that? Should I ask her if she wants to? Okay, sorry, and that was Andrea. So Andrea, thanks for being here. We're just wondering, in terms of your role here, had you consulted with any of the other clubs, or are you just attending as a guest?
I'm just attending as a guest. We
Perfect.
don't have a club going yet, but we would like to eventually.
Awesome, I'd love to hear that. And which club was that again? Sorry?
Sylvan Lake.
It'll be the town of Sylvan Lake.
Okay. Okay, just bear with me. So we got 26 votes. Yes. Okay, so we have 26 eligible votes, including 17 zone delegates, 9 board members, and 7 guests. As stated in our bylaws, a minimum of 20 members in good standing are required to achieve a quorum. I hereby declare that there is a quorum and that this meeting of the Pickleball Alberta members is in session. All right. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to introduce our parliamentarian, Brian Kwan. He is a lawyer with McLennan Ross, and he's joining us here in person. We've worked pretty closely with Brian to make sure that this hybrid meeting is as effective and organized as possible. So if we do run into any matters of procedure, we will look to Brian for some guidance. So Brian, thanks for being here and for all of the assistance in preparations. So next, I will review the voting procedure. In order to keep the meeting moving quickly, as motions are put to vote, I will simply ask for any amendments or objections. In the absence of objections or amendments, the motion will be passed as presented. If anyone would like to have a tabulated vote, please object, and we will use Brian as our scrutineer by simply emailing the votes. Next. Is the approval of the agenda. This was circulated to all registered members in advance of the AGM. I need to now ask if there are any additions or revisions to the agenda. Hearing none, may I please have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
May I please have a second?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion on the agenda at all? I will now
Could I
ask,
have- Could I have the names of the mover and seconder again, please?
Kirk Jensen and Charity Christensen.
Thank you.
Are there any opposed to the motion? I'll ask one more time. Are there any opposed to the motion? The motion is carried. Moving now to the approval of the draft minutes from the 2023 AGM. A link to the minutes has been shared in advance of the meeting. I will ask the membership if there are any errors or omissions to those draft minutes. Hearing none, may I please have a motion to approve the minutes of the 2023 annual general meeting as presented?
I move
Charity? Mary?
to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
And Kenna is our second. Any discussion on those minutes? Are there any opposed to the motion?
I just abstain.
Okay, we have,
I don't oppose, I abstain.
okay. We can note one abstention, and that is Andrew. Andrew Happer from the Edmonton Pickleball Club has abstained.
Just to the parliamentarian, we don't need to have an abstention or what the vote is, right? It's just moved or carried?
The majority would carry the approval of the last year's AGM.
We don't have to note abstentions, do we?
Well,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
It counts as, it's essentially a no vote, quite frankly. Like, you're not voting for it to approve the minutes, so it ends up being counted essentially as a no. But it doesn't matter. You just need 51% to carry it.
Okay.
I take it you weren't there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Any opposed to the motion? Hearing none, the motion is carried. I'll now deliver an update on our activities over the course of the past season with a bit of a look ahead actually to this year and beyond. I will open the floor for any questions or comments at the conclusion of the board's report. But I also want to remind everyone that immediately following the AGM, my fellow board members and I will be hosting a town hall meeting just using this very same Zoom link and this space here. So while we'll certainly take some time to highlight some key achievements and messages, if anyone would like to have a very fulsome discussion, conversation, debate, anything, you're encouraged to attend that town hall portion of our evening as well. So, buckle your seatbelts. A year in review. So just looking back to November of last year, the Pickleball Alberta board welcomed a new president, vice president, competitions director, and treasurer, although
Yes.
Jeff was on the board previously. So the first order of business that the board undertook was to reset the short-term priorities based on a risk analysis, and we worked to renew our mission, vision, and values. So we actually all spent the weekend together and pounded out some really good, decent work. Just a reminder that although I'm, talking to last season and a look into the future, this really is a highlight reel. I think it would be quite impossible for me to touch on everything in the day-to-day activities. But I also want to give all of the credit to our directors and our staff who helped put together all of the information for this presentation. So I'm going to also ask for your patience while I describe some of these things. It's a bit of detail, but probably one of the most critical parts of our organization is our new mission, vision, and values, because we very much hope to live by them. So first, our renewed vision. So our vision for the future is that pickleball will be valued as an essential element in thriving and healthy communities across Alberta. It's our mission, so the reason we exist is to orchestrate an aligned and sustainable premier sport delivery system to effectively spread the joy and benefits of pickleball. Our values: accountability, safety, teamwork, integrity, and continuous improvement. If you look at our strategic plan, and this is maybe something that we can get into during the town hall, but what I really like about our value statements is that we've taken care to describe what each of these values looks like in practice, and so the way we behave as well. So within our new strategic plan, we have 5 pillars. So they are prioritized by the board, but you can also think of these things as buckets of things that Pickleball Alberta actually does. So we have financial health and stability, healthy participation, healthy infrastructure, a strong brand for our sport, and organizational excellence. So within each one of these pillars or buckets, I'll let you know what our objective, our overall objective is, what we've done, and then a peek ahead. So with respect to our financial health and stability, it is our overall goal to become financially sustainable and self-sufficient, and also able to direct resources back into developing and growing the game. So what we've done about our money. Number one, we worked to reset the annual business plan and the budget. We revised the business model for our provincial championships and applied for a CIP grant to support that event operations. We were ultimately successful with that grant application to the tune of $50,000. We have applied for and have since been approved for an AGLC license, so that will give us access to gaming funds, so things like online raffles and casino fundraisers. Of course, we still have to wait in line to start those casino fundraisers, but something exciting on the horizon for us. We have also advocated to become recognized as the official governing body for pickleball in Alberta. So the government does see us as the official governing body. However, we do not receive base funding, which is the Association Development Program grant, and that's really a function of history. So new sports are not granted access to that pool of funds, but we're pushing hard to make sure that that door is reopened for us. We've also requested office space in this building here. There are 60 other sport organizations that have space, and so I think having a home for our organization will obviously be very valuable. And then we've also requested access to new funding streams, so things like the donation fund program through the government of Alberta, which would allow donors to receive tax receipts, and that's a service that we can provide to our member clubs as well, when hopefully we are approved. We've worked to secure new sponsors and new donors, and overall a key message here is that we're looking to really diversify our revenue streams. So we had a bit more merchandise available at the provincials. We even dabbled in online raffles this year for the first time. And this one's kind of the big one. We successfully applied for the Every Kid Can Play grant. So that represented $200,000 over 2 years to promote youth participation in clubs. And so I'll report on that in greater detail in just a moment. I do want to specifically highlight and thank our existing partners and sponsors. So Pickleball Superstore, Coach Pickleball, Crumble Cookies, Above and Beyond Promotions, Churco Pickleball, and Red L. All of them have stepped up this season, whether it's providing and Boston Pizza. Oh, hold on. Logo got lost in the animation. And Boston Pizza, thank you very much. Whether it's in-kind financial support, additional benefits at our events, all of our partners are truly valued. And I always like to put in a shameless plug because we're always looking for more, and I know that you all have connections and a soft spot for pickleball in your heart. So if you know anyone, or if you might be interested in becoming a partner with Pickleball Alberta, please let us know. Our second strategic pillar is all around healthy participation in our sport, and this is a big one. So under this umbrella, it's our club support programming, our development of leaders, so coaches and officials, key volunteers, such as our club presidents and other supporters, player development, and then hopefully eventually even our performance players will receive support through our organization. So over the past season, we supported 38 affiliated clubs. Our individual membership increased from 9,557 to 9,864. 53% of our membership is females. I also understand that it has historically tilted in the favor of females, which is not very common, so pat on the back for all of pickleball. Overall, we've seen 23% in participation growth since 2021, which is very rapid, and 17 new clubs across the province are in development. So what else have we done? We created and shared priority safe sport policy templates for our clubs. Hopefully for those of you that are club leaders, you saw that come out with strong encouragement to adopt those. If you have any questions about how to go about that or any apprehension, please reach out to us as well. I cannot stress enough the risk that you are facing without having these policies in place, especially if there happens to be an unfortunate incident at your club. So please take a look at those. We endeavored very much to provide regular communication. So while we did fall behind on our newsletters for sure, we continued with email updates and reports as was possible. We delivered continued support to new and existing clubs and members on the PCNS system, so that's the club management system that we have. And I'm also very proud to say that we leveled up our recognition game at the 2024 annual, well, it would have been for the previous season, so 2023 annual awards celebration. So we got together and had a banquet. I think there was about 50 people in the room. It was a beautiful evening with some custom-made artisan awards, and ended up with a really nice tribute and celebration of our award winners. We also delivered 2 junior jamborees hosted by EDPC, so here in Edmonton in the Calgary Pickleball Center. In total, over 45 juniors gained access and participated. And what I really love about these events is that there is a mix of social elements, skill development, and competitive opportunities as well for those kids. A bit of a crown jewel this year, not to discount all of the other things, but I think one of our biggest areas for opportunity is with our next generation of players. And so we developed the Hot Shots program using primarily funding from the Every Kid Can Play grant. So 14 clubs participated this year, 188 youth participated in the free try events, which then enrolled or rolled into Learn to Play clinics, where we had 214 registrations. All of our participating clubs were left with a legacy of equipment, so a beautiful equipment trunk with safety glasses, equipment aids, all of the things needed to run the program were in the kit. We also gave them a small facility grant, a legacy of certified instructors, so we trained their people on the program. And then we also developed that program curriculum specifically for those age groups. As a result, I think, hopefully somewhat as a result, and of course result at the club level effort as well, but junior membership this year has almost doubled. So 412 so far this year versus 217 at the same time last year. So hopefully we're being effective. Next season, Pickleball Alberta will welcome 15 additional clubs to the program, and applications will open in January, so please watch for that. Related, the government opened up this grant to community-based organizations, and so we announced to our member clubs that we would encourage and support their grant applications. So we offered a series of webinar opportunities where our clubs could get some advice and feedback on those applications. So in the end, we had 11 clubs apply for the community level version of that grant, which is worth $25,000 for the first year. So that would be a beautiful injection of funds into the overall system if some of those are successful. Looking to coaching, we offered 6 level 1 and 2 level 2 courses for a total of 119 level 1 and 30 level 2 certified coaches. And I believe we have more courses to come this year. Level 3 curriculum is under development. It's almost completed the piloting phase, and it's anticipated to be available in 2025. And again, a note that actually our coaching group and our coaching director, Ilsa Wong, had created that program curriculum for the Hot Shots program, although I know that we did lean a little bit on some of the other curriculums that have been produced in other provinces. Looking to officiating, we have 94 total accredited referees, which is 32% of Pickleball candidates. So pretty great stat there, exactly, very impressive. 5 referee training clinics were hosted across the province, so Vermilion, Calgary, Lethbridge, Edmonton, and Medicine Hat. And a note, of course, to welcome you to request the free clinics for the benefit of your club and your members. Looking toward 2025, we're looking to expand our support to coaches and officials through potential mentorship and professional development opportunities as well. Competitions. So our affiliated clubs ran 19 tournaments this year, 8 of which were sanctioned by Pickleball Canada. The Red Deer Pickleball Club were tremendous partners to host the 2024 Provincial Championships, which hosted over 500 participants over 4 days. And of course, we offered support to other events in Alberta, both professional and amateur, so those community-based events. What we're still working on in terms of our healthy participation pillar, we're planning for, or discussing plans and approaching people to help build a plan for our junior high performance program. We will also plan to facilitate monthly club development webinars, so those topics will be based on your feedback and some of the emerging opportunities that we see as well. We'll also be distributing an annual club survey. It will be a bit onerous to get through. We'll try to keep it as small as possible, but we will share the results. And so I do have to encourage everyone here to complete that survey. We will ask questions to give you better information in order to advocate back to your communities. So you can be able to tell things like, you know, how utilized are other clubs in the area? What does the club down the street look like, or in other areas? How many clubs have paid staff? How many clubs are running junior programs? How many clubs have strategic plans? So you can plan and program more appropriately. So please complete that club survey. It will also help us to advocate on your behalf more effectively, especially when we're sitting down with, you know, provincial and municipal governments around facility development. So being able to prove demand and that our pickleball clubs are a vital part of our community as well. We're working on additional individual benefits as well. We fully recognize that individuals pay fees uphill to Pickleball Alberta, and so there is an expectation that there's value for that fee. And so it's a bit challenging as a lot of our support goes to our clubs in order to be amplified down to the players, but looking at different ways that we can become more relevant to individual pickleball players as well. We've begun a repository of materials for our clubs, so things like grant templates, job descriptions, policies, all of those sorts of things. So we will put those all in one place and give everyone access to all of those. Our Teach the Teacher initiative that kicked off in 2023, we anticipate implementing a pilot project in the southern, is it the Prairie? I can't see it. In a school division in the south. This year. We would also like to expand our marketing support. So we applied to a software company called Canva, which is great for templated materials and social media posts and all of those kinds of things. So we'll develop templates for all of you where, you know, you'll fill in your particular club event, your name, put your logo, adjust with your colors. But a lot of that stuff will be good, and we'll also work to give you guys really solid images that are welcoming and representative of the diversity of our community as well. We would love to have club support to try a province-wide online raffle as well. We have the capability to build a jackpot collectively where ticket buyers can select from a drop-down menu which pickleball club they would like any proceeds to be directed to. So I've seen these things be phenomenally successful when we have buy-in from clubs and pushed down through the members. But really what our clubs, you know, put in terms of effort, hopefully they see this as low input and high financial rewards. So we would love to try that online raffle strategy. And then I think also key in this area that we're looking to form a competitions committee. So also we're fully aware that things like ratings are a problem, that we really need to be working on our policies around provincial championships, authorities, all of those sorts of things. And so we're in the process of drafting terms of reference for that committee. When that is finalized and approved by the board, we will release it with an open call for people to put up their hand, to be involved. Of course, there will be a process for selection for those committee members as well. This one looks okay. Only thing I haven't mentioned here is that we are also planning a club development conference for October 26th in Edmonton. So please save the date. All of our member clubs were canvassed for their availability on a number of dates and their recommendations for workshop topics. So we will be booking some expert speakers, and the best part of the day, hopefully you all show up, is that over the course of lunch, we will host an ideas fair. And so everyone in attendance, like Dragon's Den style, will get 2 minutes on the stop clock, and they pitch their best idea or something interesting that their club does. And we're gonna offer us, like, hopefully a really good package of prizes. And so really it's a fun little way to share, you know, all of our ideas and those sorts of things. We will offer some free time so that clubs can talk with each other, share best practices and network. And I think it's also important to note that Pickleball Alberta will be subsidizing the registration for those, and we will be providing travel grants as well for those clubs that are coming in from out of town. Moving on to the third pillar. So our overall objective is to ensure that there are enough quality and accessible pickleball facilities to satisfy current and future demand. So what we've done so far is we've started to develop some definitions around what we're really interested in. We know that we have pickleball courts in sort of non-traditional facilities like churches, and you know, people have private pickleball courts, those sorts of things, which are helping to satisfy some of the demand. But I think that there's a high need for more. And so understanding what it is that we're trying to measure first, and then collecting appropriate data around participation, so that we can effectively gauge and predict exactly what we're advocating for. We've also begun to develop an advocating strategy and a toolkit for club use, so things like having a sample slide deck so that if you go to speak to your local government or town council, that you would have a basis for what to approach them with and what some of the key messages are. We've also provided a few tailored consultations with some clubs that are getting down the road with facility development and redevelopment, so we've offered support to those clubs. And then we've also begun to deepen our relationships with our key partners, so speaking with the provincial government. For-profit businesses as well have a key role to play in this area, and also the board and Pickleball Alberta itself understanding the role each of those stakeholders play in making sure that we have enough quality facilities. Almost there. Priority number 4 is a strong brand. So really you can think of this as marketing and communication. And everything here is aimed to make sure that the perceived value of pickleball is high and strong, and obviously that the organization's brand is also well respected. So what we've done, we've linked all of our social media together to allow for a smooth flow of information. We have improved tools, so I talked about Canva. We endeavor to improve both the value and production quality of our streaming for our provincial championships. It was admittedly a bit of a challenge this year, but we'll look to continue to improve. We promoted club events and tournaments. That's something that we will continue with. And then just to mention that we received great responses on our social media around the Hot Shots program in particular. That really gained a lot of traction. What we're still working on, really leading a unified marketing strategy. So how are we all talking about pickleball to the public? Are we exciting? Are we proud of ourselves? What kind of images are we projecting? And how are we making sure that we are perceived as welcoming and safe as well? So some more leadership on that front. We will definitely look to reestablish our regular newsletters and work on our own brand architecture as well. When we're communicating, there really isn't a lot of guidance, and our communications role has seen a bit of turnover, just like every volunteer position. But having that legacy of a really clear brand architecture is something that we would love to tackle. Last one, organizational excellence. So this is all about establishing systems, policies, and procedures so that the board can effectively set the strategic direction of the organization and then make sure that we're actually achieving results. All of this has to be happening in consistent alignment with our values and in accordance with the aspiration of our membership. So what are our clubs and our players actually needing and asking for? So what we've done, of course, we've renewed the strategic plan, including mission, vision, and values. We have redrafted new bylaws. The consultation plan will be communicated following the AGM, and I will talk a little bit more, especially during the town hall, about revised bylaws. We have developed a draft governance charter to describe our desired future state and style of governance. Really, I think one of the major challenges here is getting from current state to future state in a way that is well understood by all of our stakeholders. We also hired our first full-time staff person dedicated to member services, events, and administration. We created a policy manual where none existed previously. We invested in relationship building, one-on-one with clubs and partners. Of course, we look to deepen our relationship with our national body and the other provincial and territorial organizations. And we have requested membership with the Alberta Sport Leadership Association. So making sure that we're a part of the broader community as well. On this note, we've continued to evolve the Legacy Project. So this is really just a beautiful home for the rich history of pickleball in this province. And hats off to Kirk Jensen for all of the hard work that he's done on this. I won't go into tons of detail. There's a contest out right now, though.
We're announcing the winner tonight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're announcing the winner tonight. I love it.
Yeah.
But it's a nice contest that encourages people to go in and navigate around and check out all of the different categories and information that's housed in there. What we're still working on, so looking forward, of course, we're looking to consult with you on our at least proposed new bylaws, and we will also be asking for approval when we get to a place where we all feel good about them. Progressing our evolution to a governance style board. Our current bylaws really constrain the current board to a working type of relationship with staff. We would love to consult and expand on our existing policies. We did receive some feedback on some of those policies, such as our transgender and non-binary individuals participation policy, which we are happy to consult on and reconsider. We are hopeful to form functional priority working groups and board committees. I've mentioned the competitions committee. but also looking at governance function. Really, there was no nominations process this year. There's no leadership around the governance of the organization, and also very urgently finance and risk as well. We'll need a board committee. And also, while I think the board has a fairly good idea of the highest priority risks through an environmental scan, having a more detailed risk registry and plan for dealing with some of those risks will be a priority on the governance side. Okay, that's the report from the board of directors. Thank you for the fist bump. I would love to take questions or comments from any of the membership or the board.
Job well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to commend you on what you've achieved this year. I mean, leaps and bounds. It's sad that we've not got further on the bylaws that we were hoping for, because I know last year was a tremendous mess with this AGM.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope that that can be a high priority. This zone does not work. The zone concept, it does not work at all.
What do you think about that, Brian?
It's a very poorly worded set of bylaws.
Yes.
You need new bylaws. I'm not here to give legal advice because it's inappropriate, but you do need new bylaws. The Alberta government will help you with that. The UTARP Foundation, the Alberta government has a not-for-profit template that you just pick and choose what you like from it.
Yeah.
Start there. It has a guide that explains what each bylaw means. I've got some thoughts on your zone representation. I come at it from having played competitive badminton from that perspective, and with Badminton Alberta, Badminton Canada, points ranking system, how you kind of control the sport. But that's an offline conversation for me to have with you. But yeah, you need new bylaws. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see that move along. But you've done a great job this year for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's something really appreciative to hear, because a lot of the work that we've done isn't tangible. It's not, I think the provincials were a great success, but so much of the stuff that we did was behind the scenes, and we didn't necessarily send out a monthly newsletter to say we had 3 board meetings this month to discuss and review the policies at each different edit. So
Yeah.
thank you for recognizing that.
I mean, I think any of us that are on boards all know how much time and effort that we all put in for our own clubs. So we understand exactly what you're doing, and we know it's all for free. So you're not getting paid.
There's that.
You're getting the big bucks, yeah, right.
So what you're building is like the foundation for a house. You're building something for the future, not just for now.
Well
And
said.
the first period of time will be almost invisible until it gets to the surface. Then it'll start to be visible. And if you have a good foundation, the rest will come along nicely.
Great storyteller. I'm gonna have to say it that way from now on. Thank you. Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, Jill, again, thank you much for all the work you've done for you and your board. It's been amazing what you've done for this year. Just a question back to the bylaws, because I was one of the guys front and center that had to deal with the bylaws last year and try to weave our way through it. I mean, we are looking to get, once we go through our template that your parliament, sorry, your name again was? Brian. To go pick and choose. I think that's great, that we don't have to sit there and word about the words or every word. But are we gonna get legal advice again, once we get that all put together and make sure that the lawyer says, hey, this will work, because we need good paper, because we are really a growing concern, as Barb says, and we really want to make sure we get it right this time, so we don't have to, have any issues we've had in the past. And again, I don't want to put down the people that did it around the kitchen table back in 2016.
No.
They did their thing, they did what they did, but we are now to another level, and I just want to make sure there's no expense not going to be worried about to make sure we get it done right, talking to a lawyer.
Correct. So I can say that we do have a new set, a draft set of bylaws, and a process that Brian was describing has been utilized. So we do have some blanks to fill in and some consultation to have happen. So I'll own a part of this as well. I've been here, in my position in less than a year. And I think it's also fair that we, potentially get a little bit of a focus group together to make sure that the new bylaws truly do reflect our current and potential future state.
growth, yeah.
Exactly right. And then we'll come up with that consultation plan, because it will look different. And we'll change some of the ways that we operate potentially. So I think it's important to have that feedback, and I don't want to do a special meeting twice. I want to make sure that we have full support the first time we put it forward.
For sure.
We have online guest that would like to speak from St. Albert. She couldn't, or that person couldn't find the hands up button,
Yeah,
so they
no problem.
requested to speak. Please.
Thanks, Charity. I'm McLean here from St. Albert. Honestly, I don't see the hands up everywhere tonight. So I want to thank you, first of all, for all of the good work. I agree with Bart and bylaws because of the schmozzle that we had last year. And I wanted to thank you that we had a Zoom this year, when that was one of the biggest arguments we had last November. So I'm so glad that it was offered all. I was just in a meeting before, so I couldn't get there. But that was a really bonus. And I agree with what Kirk said. You got to do it right and do it in the consultation. So thank you.
Thank you for the comments. Agree, and I super appreciate the support. Anyone else? Comments or questions on our year in review?
You can breathe a sigh of relief.
I'm actually ready with that next.
We get through the next one, then we'll be breathing.
Okay, please.
I was trying to take some quick notes, but there's too many awesome things going on, so commend you and the whole board. I know somebody that was at the Nationals in Regina last year, and maybe they're a little nerdy, but they went to the opening ceremonies, and it was an older crowd, and there was lots of good words there, but they were shocked that Saskatchewan just became in 2023 then the second province in Canada to be officially recognized as a sport,
Okay.
Pickleball Saskatchewan. And so commend the board for the awesome work. It sounds like you're getting really close to that, and the great things that'll flow from that. So I think there's outstanding things that are happening in the clubs, and even heard someone in the room on the radio, maybe it was yesterday, just talking about the awesome things that happen through the sport and the connections in the community. And so I really appreciate the work that this group is doing to facilitate that.
Beautiful, thank you.
Eileen had one more question, but it's related to the youth in sport. Can she speak to that now, or would you prefer that she wait till
This
later?
is perfect timing. Please go ahead.
It's interesting. I mean, Ken, there, you can back me up. We have a very strict youth policy because of the liabilities and risks involved, because pickleball is one of the only sports that has youth beside adults on the court and in buildings, etc. And it brings up all sorts of questions. We recently voted to change our years down to 10, which is great, but we have every adult, every youth must come with a guardian to the court. So literally what we discussed was a youth can drive themselves to the court but can't play because of our policy unless they have a guardian. We actually were going to remove that to the age of 16, but our policy guy is researching it, and he said it's all the risk because until they're an adult, who takes care of that? And having been an educator in my past, it is very scary if someone makes a claim, sexual nature or whatever. And yet, and I spoke to Della about that, we have no answers. How do we protect ourselves as clubs, as our members, when youth are present with adults, which could be compromising situations, even though we don't think they could be, or it ends up being, because look at what's happened in the past. It's something that Pickleball Alberta can help us research that, because we want to do the best for our club and our youth, but it really is an anomaly, because of youth beside adults on the court.
Eileen, all the yeses. What a beautiful question, really. So it's our hope that we can provide ongoing education for our clubs on topics like this. So talking about the legal implications of running a pickleball club, inviting a lawyer to ask open floor questions you can submit in advance. Every question that you ask is going to teach every other club a little bit of something. If there's an insurance component to this issue as well, we could get an insurance expert. But I think that every club would be interested to know, you know, from a legal perspective, what they can be doing to protect themselves, but to not also hamper participation, right? And to make sure that everybody is protected as well. So we will note that.
October 26th thing to discuss.
Yes, 100%. And if it's not, we can, I think everybody would agree that this is pretty high on the priority list to make sure that all of our people are properly protected. So thank you. Anybody else have anything to add to that? Okay. Oh, before we leave this section, I would also love to say that, I mean, we don't know who's going to be coming from the floor today. However, succession planning for the board will also be a priority. And so I encourage all of you to think about maybe giving some time yourselves. I know that most people here are very involved at the club level, but within your networks as well, we're looking for some really solid people, especially on that governance side, for priorities like bylaws. So this is my shameless plug to recruit for our board as well. So even if there's a discussion that can happen, put them in contact with us, and we would love to have more people consider joining our board. Okay, on to the financial review. So unfortunately, Jeff Holm, Pickleball Alberta's treasurer, was unable to attend today's meeting, so he says. So in his place, it's okay, I hope he watches that recording. In his place, our Vice President, Charity Christensen, will review the audited financials from the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023, and give a few key messages looking forward as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam President. Hold on. Oh, okay. Again, I'm presenting on behalf of Jeff Holmes, so this is a very high-level presentation. What you will see presented before you, as Jill mentioned, is the audited financials that was for the year ending December 31st, 2023 by our accounting firm, King and Company. What you see here is that the 2023 provincials were the first year that Pickleball Alberta did not show a loss on the provincials. And in fact, we showed a little bit of revenue that was taken and reinvested into growing the game, supporting clubs, and the members across the province. The 2024 provincial financials are still being finalized, but we are budgeting for the most successful provincials yet. We are super excited about all of the grant funding that we received from the CIP grant, in addition to some of the sponsorship opportunities and other areas where we were able to diversify our revenue streams for provincials. You'll see also that we were fortunate to have received the Every Kid Can Play grant, which offered us $2,000 in grant funding over 2 years from the government of Alberta. And that grant was, again, you saw through Jill's presentation, sent out into the clubs, and we were not only able to provide some equipment, but also some programming as well.
That was 200,000, right?
Yes, that's what I said, didn't I?
2,000.
Oh, 200,000.
That's so much
Missed
better.
a couple zeros there. Oh, I'm so excited. And then the other great thing was, like I said, the 2024 financials, they're still being finalized, but they're going to be a great and successful provincials. And lastly, the 2024 AGLC licensing. This was huge. It took a tremendous amount of effort from everybody to get all of the information together, but we were finally approved to do fundraising through 50/50s, and now also through the casino and the bingo programs. The bingo program with the casino, you get on a waiting list, and then your number kind of gets called, and then you get to go in and actually get the revenue from those. But the 50/50s are like we can use them anytime we have a function where they can be utilized. The 2024 budget includes increased investment in staff and contractual support, so reducing the reliance on our working board members, youth participation, especially through our Hot Shots program, our amazing awards celebration like we had last year, one in-person board meeting. This is where we have the board, we all get together, we lock ourselves in for the weekend, and we make strategic plans and new policies and bylaws, and we, put our heads together. Obviously, increased investment in the provincial championships, but I think we'll see a great return on that, as well as some professional fees, which were necessary, especially when it came to our bylaw redevelopment. And what I think our most important key message is that in 2024, we are in a stable financial position and we are projected to produce a modest profit. And we are going to work hard to continue to keep fees as low as possible. And we believe that we are demonstrating our objective to diversify the revenue sources and to protect against emerging risks while building appropriate funding and reserves for future and long-term priorities. Right? Is there any questions or comments?
I have a couple of questions, but I think it's probably better if we wait until the town hall portion of the meeting, because there's a few things about your AGLC application and so on that I
that is definitely a town hall conversation.
Yeah.
We intended it for that.
I'd just like to say great job for Jeff. Like, he's kind of taking our accounting to another level of professionalism within QuickBooks. So I just really like to have a shout out to our treasurer for doing
Without
a
a
great job.
doubt.
Yeah.
He's done a great job. That portfolio, I will have to say though, is growing, and we don't pay a bookkeeper right now, but he is spending time, I promise you, every day on this, and so likely for the next budget, we'll employ some bookkeeping support as well. So.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, not hearing any other questions or comments, I will ask for a motion to appoint King and Company as the auditor for the financial year ending December 31st, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Say it for Murray so he can hear.
Sorry, Murray, that's Barb Mullen.
I should say the club. Does he need those?
Strathcona County Pickleball Association.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Garen Jones.
Thank you, Garen. Thank you. We've had some people join, and we need to record names and roles.
Dwight Shellifor, past treasurer.
Okay, so we're guests.
You are, yeah. Yeah, guest.
Yeah.
And do you want your name? It's Matthew. He's a future football player. So Matthew Shellifor, CHALIFOUR.
Special guest. Yeah, special guest, VIP for Matthew.
Okay.
Okay, and have we had anyone else join online?
There's 32 people on.
Yeah, I need to those, or there's
Oh, sorry, I didn't see past.
Glenna.
Glenna, GLENNA, Ramsey, guest.
Which club?
Are you a member? Multiple? So none. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Glenna.
Hi, I need to register Susan McDonald from the Colm Pickleball Club.
Perfect. So we do have a motion currently on the table. So the motion again is to appoint King and Company as auditor for the financial year ending December 31st, 2024. We also have a seconder for it. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Are there any conflicts of interest with that company and anyone on the board?
None that are known.
I can say, Jill, like when we got him last year, yeah, he's done a lot of work with other nonprofits, yeah, and there's no, in fact, we got a bit of a reduced rate because Joe was gonna give him pickleball lessons. So,
Not true. Just a joke.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
we went through that due diligence and, he was
Great question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion? Okay, I'll now call the vote then. Are there any opposed to the motion?
Jeff Wilkie joined from Calgary Pickleball Club.
Okay, last time, are there any opposed to the motion? Motion is carried. Okay, on to the election, or so nomination and election of board members. So in the information package circulated to the members, it was communicated that the following vacancies are available for board positions. So membership director, secretary, one director at large position, and the officiating director, noting that Garen Jones has put his name forward for re-election to that position. So first we will address the officiating director position, as we have one candidate already, and then we will move on to the others. I will do this in one moment by asking if there are any other nominations to the position coming from the floor. Before we do that, please be reminded of the following, that any member of Pickleball Alberta is eligible to be nominated for election to the board of directors, that self-nominations will be permitted, although they must be seconded by an eligible voter, that nominees must be in attendance at the meeting, so in person or virtual, or accept their elected position within 10 days, and that all of our directors are elected to 2-year terms of service. So now I will ask if there are any nominations from the floor for the position of officiating director.
Well,
So sought after.
is there a nomination?
Were you scratching or?
Did you put your hand up?
He's nominating
No,
himself.
no. Is Garrett has been nominated?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
Any other?
Thank you. Okay.
Correct. Any other? I'll ask one last time. Any other nominations for this position?
Don't, my hands are up.
Everybody sit on your hands. So because our bylaws do not specifically allow for acclamation, we do need a vote by the membership to have Garen re-elected to the board. May I please have a motion to elect Garen Jones for the position of officiating director for a 2-year term?
Randy Dodds, I'll move that he accept the position for life.
Friendly amendment.
Thanks,
I love it.
Yes.
Okay, and that was Randy.
Yes.
Randy Dodds. Marie, and may I have a second?
Eileen McLean.
Eileen McLean. Any discussion? Are there any opposed to the motion?
Actually, can I just make a discussion? Mr. Jones Mr. Bueller first got us started here with refereeing, and it was Garen's mentor, and Garen has taken officiating in Alberta to the highest level of anywhere in Canada, and I think would challenge anywhere in the US. We are so lucky to have him, and for him stepping forward for another year, we are blessed, and again,
2 years.
Yeah,
2 more years, yes. Well, and counting. So we're very lucky to have a candidate, and thank you very much for stepping up, Garen, and
Here, here.
totally go with that.
All right, any opposed? The motion is carried. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the other vacancy, I will now the other vacancies, I will now ask for any nominations from the floor for the membership director position. If you want Brenda's job, you are on mute. If you want to come forward. Okay, hearing none, I will ask for any nominations from the floor for the secretary position. And lastly, are there any nominations from the floor for the director at large position?
That's your job.
Do it.
To us.
Do it.
Okay.
No, seriously.
I have in my script a congratulations to the incoming board members.
We are a really cool bunch. Why does nobody want to hang out with us?
But we are grateful, Garen, so thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So leading into our adjournment, I'll wrap this up by extending my most heartfelt thank you to all of the people who support our organization, including all of you who took the time, especially away from your families, to attend our AGM tonight. Your presence and commitment are deeply appreciated. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to both Della Curry, our Member Services and Operations Coordinator, our first employee, who's really dug in to help us with the administration of our day-to-day operations, and of course, Mr. Kirk Jensen, who has very graciously agreed to take on a number of projects this season on the operations side. Both of those individuals were faced with more than a few challenges and tight timelines this season, but they always rose to the occasion with resilience and dedication. They both consistently give their best, adapting and always finding solutions. So thank you for being find a way people. I also have the privilege of working with a supportive and capable board. So thank you to all of our directors. Of course, I always emphasize this, their families as well, who have made sacrifices for the good of our sport. Together, we've continued to learn about ourselves, each other, and how to best serve our community. I do take great satisfaction in being part of an organization that truly endeavors to abide by its values in our daily efforts to create more and better pickleball players. I am incredibly proud to stand arm in arm with my fellow directors, who I would like to acknowledge by name, starting first with our outgoing directors, whose terms are expiring. So Murray Young, our secretary, who I will always regard as a consummate gentleman. He has been incredibly diligent in his work. He's been thoughtful and insightful with his offerings in the boardroom. He has a really calming presence for all of us, and it will definitely be missed, so thank you, Murray. Dean Croach, our Director of Junior Pickleball, we want to thank you for your passion and leadership, especially with the delivery of our junior jamborees. These events, I think, truly have been inspirational to our next generation of players, and we're grateful for your leadership. Brenda Fesser, our Membership Director. You have been an absolute pillar of support and information to our membership. Your experience in the boardroom, as well as with other sports, has been extremely valuable. You have held this organization to the highest standard, and we'll do our best to make sure that you're proud as you step back from your role after so many years of service. We also have started a new tradition at Pickleball Alberta, and we will, and hopefully it'll be continued, we will honor each departing board member with a beautiful framed crest to commemorate their years of service and honor their contributions to our organization and the pickleball community. So for the directors not able to be here in person, we'll find a way to deliver your awards properly. But Brenda is here in person, so I'd love to present it to her now and deliver a hug. Please come.
So nice.
Hug first. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. That's nothing.
only 8 years, you have to serve 10.
No, there's a 2-year limit now on board.
New rule.
So also, we do have the crests for the 2023 directors. We're fortunate to have two of them now here with us tonight. So I'd like to lean on Brenda to say a few words in honor of our past president, Kirk Jensen.
I don't know if she heard you. Oh, she did.
She heard. She knows she's up.
She heard it all.
She's getting
Get
the
her notes.
Okay. Am I in there? All right, these are just a few of the things that Kirk has done for pickleball over the last year. He's very ambitious, and he got lots of things accomplished in his 4 years as president. He's knowledgeable, productive, and a tireless worker. He's been the president of Pickleball Canada. He played a big role in the development of PCMS, establishing good relationships in all the provinces across the country, and keeps in touch with those people. When our very first president of Pickleball Alberta was ready to retire from the presidency, Kirk at the time was the president of Pickleball Canada. And he was interested in becoming the president of Pickleball Alberta. But Pickleball Canada said he had to make a decision, and he chose us. Thank you. He was the first one, of course, to put the PA website together with Ray, Facebook, Instagram. He kept members up to date with the monthly newsletters that were so appreciated by so many. He's got the legacy of Pickleball Alberta on the website. He did PATV, am I calling it the right thing? The videos. He initiated the awards program at the AGM. And he's charged with preparing the slide deck, which is a big task.
Thank God.
Kirk provided great support at the Red Deer Pickleball Nationals, and we held that in 2021. He's given so much to the development of pickleball, not just in Alberta, but across the country. And I am so grateful and proud today of benefiting from the strongest provincial pickleball association in the country. To Kirk, the competitor, the coach, the official, and the past president, thank you so much.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I got 4 minutes. People like Brenda should be getting 8 minutes, because what you've done, Brenda, as well, since 2016, around that kitchen table to where we are, you've been there every step of the way. We've had about 16,000 members go through Pickleball Alberta. She's checked out every one of them. So again, thank you very much. It's always been part of a great team. So thank you, Pickleball.
Our special late guest, also, right here.
Thank you. All right, this gentleman here was our treasurer for 4 years. When I came on as president, I wanted to make sure that our finances were going to be in good hands, and that we weren't ever going to be having to worry about where did this nickel go or where did that nickel go. And Dwight Chaliper was always somebody that I said, if I'm going on, I'm bringing Dwight, and he's going to watch the funds for me, because it's so important. He always is very diligent with getting them done on time. Bookkeeping came, I remember we first started Dwight, they handed Dwight as a treasurer a box of papers with a checkbook. Edmonton Pickleball Club used to pay us by the month by check, and then every second month in the winter. And we had to go deposit checks, get them from the mail and deposit. Now it's also seamless, but Dwight was there when it wasn't so easy. So I'd really like to thank Dwight Chellifer in his 4 years as our director. So if I could please ask Dwight to come up and have this.
I'll just be real quick. My job was really easy working with Brenda. Brenda did all the work. I just
Put your name on
but
it.
I will say, like Kirk said, I got all these papers and finally I burned them after like 3-4 years. Some of them, I still have some. I shouldn't say that. But
Ryan,
like
look at yours.
old checks and stuff, but everything's all e-transfer now, everything's PCNS now, and it's just way faster, way easier. I could do an e-transfer within hours, you know, as opposed to before getting 2 board members to sign the check, put stamps on it and mail it. And it, you know, the last treasurer did a good job, but she lived in Elk Point, so she had to drive to meet another board member. Like it was, when I heard all that, I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna make everything wireless. Or, I mean, sorry, paperless. And, but anyways, and working with Kirk was really easy because I needed approval for something like a laptop, you know, it came quick. So I'd like to thank everybody that was on the board at the time as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I announce our legacy trivia contest winners, Madam President?
Okay.
Do you want to wait until after the meeting, or can you do that?
No, let's just
All right.
rip it off.
He's
we're
so
doing-
excited.
I know, I don't want to get in the way of your
All
break.
right. So yes, we had 2 legacy project trivia questions regarding our history and things like that. There was 10 questions. We had almost 120 different people send in their answers. And for the, I'd like proudly to say, our president selected the winners. And for the online, it was Dory Boland from the St. Albert Pickleball Club. So congratulations, Dory. You'll be getting your jacket. I'll be contacting you. Congratulations, Dory. And, oh, sorry, that was for the email mail in. And actually, it was only 3 people that got all 10 questions answered properly. The last one was, again, the social media trivia contest. And this girl was sending her answers in 8 o'clock every morning as soon as the question went out. Connie Trinchy from the Park and Pickleheads. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to go back to a little bit more recognition. So all of our past and outgoing board members have all dedicated a significant amount of time and energy. We thank you for that, and we also want to wish you guys all the best of luck in your future endeavors and your health and your families. So I'd also like to acknowledge the directors that will be continuing with their service by name. So Charity Christensen, our Vice President, Jeff Holm, our Treasurer, Allison Ramsley, Director of Technology, Garen Jones, continuing as our Director of Officiating, Ilsa Wong, Director of Coaching, Andrew Gorman, Director of Communications, Ken Densian, Director of Competitions. So genuinely, everybody in this room, pickleball is better. I am a better human because of these people. It is my privilege to work with you. Oh, you do that to me, Brenda. Of course, our organization's efforts are bolstered by the invaluable contributions of so many others, our coaches, our officials, our administrators, volunteers, our partners, and of course the pickleball players we all ultimately serve. Your dedication and hard work are the backbone of our community, and I extend my deepest thanks to all of you. I also want to emphasize that Pickleball Alberta will continue to focus on its people in the future. Each day we strive to enhance our support to our members and inspire the next generation of players. We welcome your collaboration and your support. No one person, club, or community can navigate all of the challenges that we're going to face alone. It takes all of us working together to make sure that we're building a healthy and vibrant future for our sport. I believe that we will continue to grow and experience great success if we can look after each other and work together. It is an absolute pleasure to serve this pickleball community. And we have concluded all matters of business on our agenda. I hereby declare that the meeting is adjourned. And this concludes the AGM. Thank you all for your participation. Enjoy the colder months. Stick around for the town hall. We'll take just a few minutes break so that we can get refreshed, and then we will gather and chat more things pickleball.
We need a junior director.
Thank you, Madam President. Hang on, before you leave.
Are you saying yes?
I'm gonna talk him into it. But look at this. It's already done.
Oh, okay. But
Can,
to make where's your problem?
so
If this show is on.